Welcome to Leads and Leverage, Real Estate Team Leader Lounge, where success in real estate meets passion-driven leadership. I'm your host, Tyler Gibson. I'm an entrepreneur, real estate team leader, and investor, and I'm thrilled to have you join us in the ultimate hub for real estate excellence. In this exclusive lounge, we're diving deep into strategies, tactics, and stories that fuel the success of real estate teams. Whether you're a seasoned pro looking to take your leadership skills to new heights or an aspiring entrepreneur ready to build your own powerhouse team, this podcast is your go-to resource for insider insights and actionable advice. Get ready to hear from top experts, industry pioneers, and real-world achievers who are making waves in the real estate world. We'll explore the best practices, share invaluable lessons learned, and equip you with tools you need to thrive in today's competitive market. Welcome to the lounge, where leaders are made and success is earned. Come on in to the Real Estate Team Leader Lounge. Welcome to another episode of the Leads and Leverage podcast, the Team Leader Lounge. I'm here today with Jan Kimbrough of the Kimbrough team in Grand Junction, Colorado. I'm so excited to talk with Jan. She leads one of the top 50 worldwide RE/MAX teams worldwide, which is incredible given the size of her market there in Grand Junction. Jan, thank you so much for being here with me today.
Sure. Thanks for the invite. I appreciate it.
Well, Jan, I'm so excited to learn about you and your team. Tell me a little bit about your real estate career, your journey. When did you get started, and what does kind of the progression look like for you to get to where you are today?
Okay, I'll try to put this in a nutshell. So first of all, our team was really originated by my brother. He and I still do business together. It was about 20 years ago, maybe. He got into real estate as his second career after a career in pharmaceutical sales. He started pounding signs like everybody else does, and he was very good at it and was overwhelmed with his business. So I was in the medical field. I owned physical therapy clinics, outpatient clinics, and he saw he didn't have business skills. He had sales skills. I had business skills. So he suggested I sell my businesses and join him, which is what I did. So it's been about 18 years since I joined him. And so the two of us have done that together.
That's awesome. So it takes me to my first question. What does your business dynamic look like today? Is he still in sales or leading the sales team? What does that dynamic look like?
We are very unusual. Our structure is unusual. Everything about it is unusual. So yes, we are both actively selling day in, day out, selling like every agent on our team. However, our structure is different. We were always told, oh, this structure is never going to work in this small town or whatever. And it's been great for us. So it has evolved to where my brother does the residential resale listing side of our business. Mm-hmm. I do the commercial and the new construction residential listing side with a few buyers that have been in my pipeline for years. And then we have 4 other agents who just work the buyer side. And I try to fill their pipelines with my years of pipeline.
Yeah. Well, that's cool. And that is a little bit different. I guess my question is, at what point did you guys start building a team? I think the answer is when your brother got overrun, you came in to start helping him. Yeah. At what point did you guys bring on an outside team member?
You know, it was pretty early on, because what happened was, and this was part of what we just made our system work for us, which was what we did: Corcoran coaching and Proctor coaching and all kinds of different coaching. And the structure didn't seem to work they just thought it wouldn't be successful. But he had little baby twins, and I was at a crisis point in my life. And so pretty soon we decided, hey, let's just add agents who seem like a good fit, not necessarily the killer instinct sales agents. That's not what we were looking for. We just decided, hey, we had enough business. We were figuring out how we were going to do it. And we just started taking on people who approached us that we thought were a good fit.
What was it about your model that other people said wasn't going to work?
That it was this structure of splitting the business up in a market this size. and that we are not micromanagers. We are not like, hey, you've got to close this many sides a month, or you don't get incentivized with leads or whatever. We do not micromanage any agent on our team. So that was the other big thing. They always want you to push for more leads, more conversion, more sales, and incentivize your people. And that just wasn't a fit for this market size, nor for how we wanted to work.
I love hearing that, because I also try to run a team where I'm not micromanaging people. I don't want to. That's part of the reason why. I know that everybody needs accountability, but I don't want that to be me. I want that to be somebody else in their life, usually like a spouse, spouse, or tell your small children you're going to do something, right? They'll hold you accountable to it, right?
Yeah, they'll hold you accountable, right?
That's right.
Yeah, we just really wanted people, good people that wanted to do business the right way. So the typical generate more leads, close them quicker. I mean, all of that kind of push and analyzing everybody's phone calls and this and that, making sure they were doing their prospecting. That just wasn't us. That
makes me so happy, because I also see all these other mega teams, and they do run that model of pumping tons of leads, the accountability. They're actually in the CRM of the other agent, looking to see if they're doing their follow-up and things of that nature. So that really encourages me. So I feel better already. So I guess my next question is, the show's called Leads and Leverage. So we love to talk about leverage, and we love to talk about leads.
Yeah.
As you look at your business, what are some key leverage points that you guys have focused on, either in the early days or today, that have really helped you create and operate at more of scale?
Yeah, that's pretty simple for me to answer, because the whole basis of our approach is about being more efficient with what you've got, not necessarily generating more and more, doing more with what you've got, with implementing systems that are based on setting very specific expectations with your clients, your lenders. And so we do a very thorough job about setting expectations and creating systems that support those. So instead of buyer's agents showing 30 houses feeling like they're doing a great job because they showed 30 houses, no, that's a bad job in my book. If you don't have it in 7 to 10, you've missed something on the first part of setting expectations and setting up your systems. So we're just highly efficient in that way.
Tell me a little bit more about that. What does that look like? What are you guys doing as far as setting those expectations, where you go from showing 30 houses to showing 7?
That's a very interesting question, because I mentioned, I don't know if this is the spot too, but we just got back from California, because we kind of really synthesized how we do it, that we've never learned in coaching or anything. And we have put it into this online training that we're going to be launching in the fall, called Expectation Selling. But basically it is about the concept that in a transaction, everything is predictable. We all know what's coming in every single transaction, and agents spend their lifetimes tethered to their phones and their computers, answering. It's just the stereotype of a realtor. You never get away from it. And realtors get their license and they take on that persona and start functioning in that way, when it really doesn't have to be. So we set up systems for how we're going to communicate with clients, how frequently, what the hours are, in what ways, mechanisms for doing that, because we can do all this business without being tethered to our phone 24/7 or on our computer 24/7. So it is setting up systems and expectations for the communication of the process and predicting what we know is coming. The content of each transaction is different, but you know what's coming. Any agent who's done 10 deals knows that in general, the same fires come up in some way or another. So if you prevent the fire, that's what we do. We prevent the fires so that everything is efficient. You're not tethered to your phone, putting them out because you predicted them, headed them off at the pass, and you're not spending your life working to put out fires.
That's great. So just so I understand, I'm just going to reiterate it so everyone,
Yeah.
that I'm clear.
Yeah.
One of the best points of leverage in your own business has simply been setting expectations with clients on what they're going to expect and how you're going to communicate with them.
And how the transaction's going to go, and then following those up with systems for boundaries, for processes, and for relationships. So yes, it sounds different, and it is, but we've never bought Zillow leads or, zip code leads. We've never paired with a lender who pays us to give them leads. We've never done any of that. We've always generated our leads through our own systems and organically in our own marketing, and then just been very efficient with how we manage our people.
I love that. So let's talk about leads. I think you said you generate a lot of them organically. Is that through your sphere of influence and the sphere of influence of the agents that are on your team, or do you guys actually have some marketing systems, whether they be paid or just online, that's generating those organic opportunities for you?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we do have I don't know how many years ago, it was a few years back, we did hire a 30-hour-a-week marketing person who manages our Facebook, our pay-per-click stuff, our Google presence, our own website for our team, within our sub websites for our builders and that kind of thing. So when we obviously take Zillow leads, although we don't buy those zip codes or anything like that, but it's been a lot of just organic stuff off of our own websites.
That's cool. I think I heard you say pay-per-click. Are you guys doing much pay-per-click leads, or is it just you're promoting current listings as a pay-per-click option?
We don't have a huge budget in pay-per-click stuff. It's just one of the things. Sometimes we'll identify something that we think, oh, that's something that, and that's part of the thing. Nothing is a kind of some strategic thoughts about, okay, what's going to be the best marketing for this particular property? Who do we need to get it to? How do we need to do it? So it's not always the same, but so we don't have a huge budget for pay-per-click stuff, but we do some. And we do property boosts and that kind of thing through. Yeah.
So that's helpful. So generating leads is one thing. Converting leads is a whole different ballgame. As you've been building this team and building the culture around it, what's kind of your main approach or your main topic of conversation as you're talking to agents about converting opportunities that other team leaders could benefit from teaching their folks?
Well, I think some of it is just tried and true stuff. It's just making sure your agents understand how important it is, because now the incubation time for a lot of these leads is so long. We got all spoiled with the COVID years. And where everybody was, here's my money, how much higher do I have to go than the listing price? Well, we all got spoiled with that, but it's always been be on the lead fast and be consistent with your follow-up. And we're a kind of a people don't want to be sold approach. It's like people do not want to be sold. So a lot of that high pressure, aggressive selling stuff, we don't do anything like that. It's just consistently following up until basically they tell you to get lost or you bring them in. So it's just patience and consistency and realizing that there's not necessarily a quick kill and everything. So if you're looking for that quick kill, you're gonna miss a lot of closings because you're not patient enough to incubate them.
Yeah, so true. Telling people all the time, call them until they tell you to leave you alone.
I mean, we have all kinds of little tricks I say, but things that are communicating. Yeah, we're not just trying to make a sale. We're trying to help you. That's really been more the approach of how can we help these people? And because if you're trying to sell them on your own agenda, they feel it, they smell it, and they will run. So you can't be on your own agenda all the time.
So good. So we're running out of time, so I'm gonna speed up just a little bit. But if a new team leader, or if an agent that was thinking about becoming a team leader was talking with you, what's one piece of advice that you would give them as they think about bringing on other agents to be a part of their team?
Well, I guess in the interest of efficiency, it's to us, it's been all about bringing on the right people and being willing to train them. So we use a DISC survey. I don't know if you're familiar with the DISC survey when we hire folks on. It's like getting the people who are solid, that'll represent your team like you want them to be, want it to be represented. And then you're going to have to put in the effort into, like, I train them all. Ours are like in my office being trained for 6 months, just side by side with me. So I'd say focus on hiring the right person, not necessarily the sales or the typical sales person, but hire the right fit for your team and put the energy into training them.
That's awesome. Thank you so much. And I know that you said that you guys have an online course, I think, that you're coming out with about the way that you guys set expectations and expectation selling. If people want to learn more about that or just get in contact with you, what's the best way for them to reach you?
It's probably my email or my cell phone. So do you put that up there? Or do you want me to give it to you?
I mean, we'll put it in the show notes. If you want to say it, people might jot it down as they're watching.
Yeah, my cell phone is 970-250-6781. And then my email is jan@thekimbroughsteam.com.
Yeah. Awesome. And for anyone that's listening, just for context, in Grand Junction, Colorado, there's only about 150,000 people in population. So for a team like Jan's team to be ranked in the top 50 globally across RE/MAX is definitely saying something. I'm curious, do you know what your market share is?
My brother would know that detail.
Okay.
I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. I know that RE/MAX, that we're under the umbrella. Our team is under RE/MAX, and I think they've got about 24% of the market share.
That's huge.
Here in Grand Junction. So
awesome.
But we're just like 6 agents of 80.
Yeah.
In RE/MAX.
Well, Jan, thank you so much for spending time with me and my audience today. I really appreciate you giving us some great information and some things to think about. And for those of you listening, thanks so much for tuning in today to the Leads and Leverage podcast, the Team Leader Lounge. Hope to see you next time. Have a great day.
And that's a wrap for today's episode of Leads and Leverage. I hope you found our conversation insightful and actionable. Remember, success in real estate is not just about transactions. It's about the relationships you build, the teams you lead, and the impact you make in the lives of others. If you enjoyed today's episode and want to stay connected with our community of real estate leaders and entrepreneurs, be sure to subscribe to the podcast and leave us a review. Your feedback helps us bring you more valuable content and guests. Don't forget to visit our website, gpghome.com/leads and leverage for additional resources, show notes, and exclusive updates. You can also follow me on Instagram at @real_Tyler Gibson to join the conversation and connect with like-minded individuals. See you next week.